Hello, I'm Jenna Roberts with Present Path, and today I want to tell you what to expect from a tarot reading. The first thing I want to make clear is that a tarot reading is inherently compassionate. The reading shouldn't leave you feeling empty, scared, or uncertain in a way that you felt worse than before you went in. It's trying to help you get along in your life in the best possible way. Sometimes that means you might get some harsh information as to how you need to change, but that shouldn't mean that it's telling you information that you have no control over and that's very scary to you. The movies present it that way, and that's not how a reading has ever gone for me or anyone I know who reads cards. So acknowledging that you should walk away from a tarot reading feeling empowered, maybe you have some homework to do on how you're going to improve yourself, but I wouldn't expect anyone to feel like they're overwhelmed in a way where they're feeling panicked or uncertain. The movie readings look like that, and so sometimes current readers will replicate that, but that's just not real. That's just not how readings go. Movies have given us the wrong impression that tarot card readings are going to tell you some horrible future that you have no control over. That's not what readings are about. Movies do that because it's a great storytelling device. It's a wonderful way to foreshadow what horrible challenges the hero is about to face and give you a sympathetic experience of being like, I'm scared with this hero. That's nice in a movie, but it's not how real life tarot readings work. I was really sad to see that Schitt's Creek even recently pulled this.
So I see a boat capsizing. What? People screaming and a couple like underwater, and then it sort of fades to black.
Oh my God, Ted.
Okay, no, but come on, you can't actually see that in these cards.
Well, I also need to interpret the cards.
Okay, so maybe you could interpret something a little more positive?
Twyla! That's why it's important to get a reading from someone who is a professional. Your friend who's learning the cards may not quite understand what reading is yet and might go for that more darkened fate future sort of telling. That's not what the cards are about. The cards are a system to tell you how you can navigate to your best life. So it's going to empower you and give you a sense of direction forward. Most people who get readings from me tell me that they feel validated in listening to the parts of their mind that are the most clear and conscious. So what you get from a reading is an alignment, an attunement with the parts of your mind, the voices that speak to you that are speaking from intuition and your own psychic knowing. So trusting yourself is a part of what you gain from a tarot reading, is going, oh, okay, I was thinking that. That's really validating. The other thing about a tarot reading is that it's giving you future information based on where you are now. Adjust your trajectory, adjust your attitude, your whole future will change. A tarot reading is trying to get you to align with your best trajectory. If you shift your mind, if you shift your attitude, and you make different choices based on that, your future will also change. That means it's going to empower you to take bold, healthy steps forward in the right direction, but it has to be your own intuition that also takes you there. I find that after I get a reading from someone who's really talented with the cards, I feel more clear in myself as to how I want to step forward in life. And I feel more emboldened to do it, of like, okay, let's go, right? All the directions a tarot reader gives you are suggestions, typically for your personal empowerment. You can say, I'm moving to one of these 3 cities, help me decide. Well, we can pull cards and tell you a little bit about what each place is going to be like. It's probably not going to be a clear yes, no. It's probably going to be something more along the lines of, well, this one's going to be really fun. This one has potential for you to get good work. And this one might be challenging, but take you along on a stronger evolution. What works for you? You want to bring to a reading a couple basic questions, but you don't have to. You can also just let it be general. The cards love the question, what do I need to know right now? Let that be your only question if that's what you have. That's fine. And typically when I do a reading like that where the person just says, I'm an open book, tell me what I need to know, they often say at the end, well, you've hit on all the things that are really up for me right now. So the reading knows what to do and what order to give you that information in. If you have questions, let them be general so that you can learn what you need to know about those fields of your life. The cards are nuanced. They don't give absolutes as much as the movies portray. Asking questions that are more open into how can you empower yourself is going to give you the most benefit from a tarot reading. asking very specific questions of when will I meet him? How will I know he's the one? These are things that you might get answers on, but they are malleable. They might change. So seeking more how you can gain benefit from the reading now for your present state of where you're at and how you can adapt and adjust your life according to the messages of the reading to move into a better path forward. That's what you're looking for in your questions you're asking. You want to come with questions that can help you get to, rather than the absolute future, to a better future. So asking questions as to like what details you need to know that would help you make better choices is going to be more empowering than saying, will I be happy here? Well, you're going to have some nuance to that answer. Bringing your questions to the table that feel like they're helping you gain more insight into what the details might be is better than asking a yes/no question or trying to understand what's going on with other people. A lot of people want to ask the question, how is he feeling about me with some relationship they're in? That depends on the person, but you're not going to get an answer like that from a collective reading on YouTube. When I do a collective reading, I'm trying to help everyone who's listening to it get an insight into their life, but that doesn't mean I can say how each of you are doing in your relationships and how each of your partners are doing. That's some very detailed work that you want to get a personal reading for. The reader will probably ask you some questions as well, because sometimes you'll get a spread and there's one part of it that feels a little blank. And so you say, well, what's going on with this one card here? And you want to ask some detailed questions that once you give an honest answer to, illuminate the whole reading open. I recommend that you be open with your reader, let them know information so that they can give you back more full answers. So how do you prepare for a reading? The best thing to do is to go look around and find someone who you resonate with. Go read a couple different bios of different readers. Go watch some of their videos on YouTube or Instagram. Get a sense of what feels like the kind of person you want to talk to. Read their reviews. See what feels right to you. And trust your own intuition with this. A lot of finding the right reader is about your vibe and what feels good to you. Don't let the card images freak you out. For instance, the death card that always comes up in movies. It's not actually about death. All tarot readers know this. The death card is about puberty. It's about going through a major transformation in your life. That can be scary, and so the card looks scary, but it's rarely, if ever, about death. The most scary images in the deck typically are about your mental state, and that can be more that you're overwhelmed with anxiety or you're worried about something. Let the reader speak what's happening in the cards rather than trying to read the images yourself. A reading is more of a conversation than what the movies portray, but you also want to make sure that the reader has time to talk. Don't be shy to share with them anything that you feel is relevant to the reading, or any symbols that come up on the cards that you're like, oh man, snakes. I got a thing for snakes. Snakes are in like 3 cards. What's that about? And let the reader speak to that. So feel free to add in your insight, your own intuitive thoughts, but make sure the reader has time to speak and it doesn't become a purely one-sided conversation. There's something about channeling where you kind of are in a flow with it, and so sometimes the reader might need to speak and you might need to be silent for a moment while they get out what's just like fully coming through, because some of the clarities and intuitions and psychic moments can be fleeting and you want to kind of grab them before they pass. Here's a few things you should not have happen in a reading. First of all, you should never be asked for more money than what was originally agreed to unless you ask for more services. There's an ancient scam that some readers unethically use that involves them saying to you that you have a curse and you need that curse lifted. Never fall for this. If anyone were to share something like that with you, say thank you, close the reading, and then go get a reading from someone who is more ethical. The other thing is if someone scares you, if they tell you information that intimidates you, please get a second opinion and go to a different reader. Readings shouldn't leave you in a state of panic. That isn't the compassionate spiritual vibe that they come from. If someone gives you information that scares you or makes you nervous, go and get a secondary opinion. You can get clarity on it in a way that will be assuring to you, and then you'll be able to move forward in a more healthy way. And I'm sorry for the fact that someone gave you useless information.
Alexis, that's just an image search for Intense boating disasters?
I just wanted to know what I would look like after a catamaran accident.
The tarot is giving you useful information, so knowing something horrible is going to happen is not actually helpful. So I wouldn't trust any information like that, but if you really need to, go and get a second opinion. I've also had young people tell me that they had been to a reader who said that they were only 18 and didn't have enough life experience for a reading. That simply means they're not comfortable speaking to someone young. So just go look around for another reader. I do understand why some readers don't read for people under 18 out of wanting parental consent, and that's their prerogative. I read for all ages, but I am more conscious of how I speak to a child, and I do like to get parental consent. In the last year with COVID, we've had a lot of people getting Zoom readings, and at first I felt a little uncomfortable and awkward with it, but now I love it, and most of my friends who are psychics also share that it's a really fulfilling experience because we are able to align with that person's energy in a more clear way when they're far away. I think that when someone's in the room with me, sometimes it can be kind of overwhelming, and there's a static almost to see through into the clarity we're seeking. But when they're at a distance on the phone or on Zoom, I feel like I'm able to just zone and hone right in on that area of clarity I'm looking for in their energy field. I don't totally understand how it all works, but I do understand that Zoom readings are as valid and as fulfilling as an in-person reading. So give it a try and just stay in the comfort of your own home with a pen and a paper, taking notes or recording the session. And then afterward, you're in your own sacred space that you can sit with the messages that came through, do your own meditation, do your own journaling, maybe begin the homework that the reader gave you. It's a really wonderful experience to get an in-person reading, but it's also a wonderful experience to get an online reading. So I'd say go with either one. Thank you for listening today. I hope that if you've been craving this experience of getting a reading, that you'll go and give it a try. I hope you'll consider getting a reading with me or another professional reader who comes across to you with a good resonance and a loving, healthy, kind attitude. I hope that this has helped you today to understand what a reading experience is about, what kind of questions to ask, and what kind of vibe to look for when you're looking for a reader. And I hope I can read for you someday. Thank you.